where I did a talk about no code. It was amazing. It was fantastic. But, as per usual, when you go to a conference in winter, you come back with a cold. And I hope it's just a cold. Anyway, enough about my health. Let me know how you're doing, where you're joining us from, and it's great to have you here. If this is your first time at Floxies, we are an international community for women in UX/UI design and Webflow development, and we gather here every week for what we like to call our Wonder Wednesdays, which are virtual events where we get to hear from valuable speakers from the design or the Webflow space. So, without further ado, let me get into our metaverse. Here it is. So we meet here in our gather town. So if you're new, again, I would love to show you. Hit me up, send me a message, and I'll take you into the space and I'll give you a little tour. So I'm just gonna walk up to our auditorium where our guest speaker is waiting, and we see all the Floxies are here. Amazing. Hi, everyone. Welcome. Happy Wonder Wednesday. Oh, you see, I don't know how this happens. So for people to I set some extra time for people to come in early and catch up. And yeah, we had like 5, 6 people here. And then I step outside, launch the the broadcast, come back, and boom, there's like 10 people waiting. It's amazing. And I can see Penny is keeping you company up there, Lauren, which is also very nice. She brought you a little glass of prosecco. Look how thoughtful we are here at at
Wait, how do I see I got a glass of prosecco? What do you mean?
Oh, it's just there next to your podium on the right.
Oh, I can't see it because I'm looking at my screen.
Oh, well, we
I'll
look
see it
after our
after. Thanks for
speakers.
getting me that, guys.
Of course, it's like hospitality is a big thing at Floxies as well. But it's so amazing to
Cheers.
have you here. We were so happy to have you as a speaker. We just had a whole month dedicated to UX UI design and kind of like where are we heading towards in 2024? What's the latest trends and how does AI kind of tap into that? We didn't talk about AI, we just hinted to it. We wanted to find the right person to introduce the topic into the community. And I had to look no further than my Instagram and the amazing content that you've been sharing. So I had to reach out, I had to talk to you, and I'm so happy you accepted to be here. And so we have the fabulous Lauren DeVane here with us. And so, Lauren, before we get started with your topic, which is going to be AI as your kind of design co-pilot, I'm so interested to hear. I would also love to know a little bit more about your background, how you got into this space in the first place, because we're one of the things we like to do here at Floxies is to obviously inspire other women to be part of this journey. So I would love to hear your story, and then we can get started with the presentation.
Totally. Let's get into it. So, I've baked it right into the presentation for you guys. So, I'm Lauren DeVane. I am the founder of the Bemuse Studio and more recently Basecamp, which is my AI course. I'm a dog mom to my black golden doodle Curly. I live outside Chicago. I love sour beer. And then I used to be the creative director over social media at Ulta Beauty, which is like Sephora in the States, but it's got like cheaper stuff too. It's kind of like an all around beauty shop. And then I left there to run Bemuse, and I was doing branding and logo design and just creative for small businesses that needed new branding. And I did that for about 2 years. And then in January of this year, I started really getting into the AI of it all. I started playing around with Midjourney and figuring out how you could create images. And as soon as I got in there, I got sucked into like a 72-hour hole of just like making images. And I came out and was like, I must tell the world about this. It was just so incredible that like you could do what you could do. And so I was like, I got to show people how to do this. I got to make a course. Like, this feels like such just a huge leap in the way that creatives can be working. And so I decided to create Basecamp, and I started getting into ChatGPT more. And then as the year has gone on, ChatGPT has only gotten better and better. And so every time I'm like, all right, I'm ready to launch the course, something else changes. So I was like, okay, we got it. Like, so it's been this ongoing journey, but from early last or late last year, I was like, AI is the future for creatives. I truly see it as the future for creatives. And so that's kind of like how I got into it. I've always been a creative. I went to school for design. I got my degree in graphic design. I taught myself Photoshop when I was 8 years old. Like I've been doing this for a long time. I worked at Walgreens Corporate and Ulta for over a decade at these two Fortune 500 companies. So I've kind of gotten to get my feet wet in like everything. I've gotten to work with all of these incredible brands when I was at Ulta, and it was amazing. But it wasn't like it wasn't my calling. And then I found AI and I was like, this is my calling, just because I'm just so obsessed with like future and tech. And so that's kind of like how I ended up here. I went through the whole process of doing all the different design stuff, learning all the different marketing, learning all the social, and then being able to take everything that I've learned in my last 15 years in the industry and figure out how to use AI to help people build their businesses and work smarter, not harder. So that's it, me in a nutshell. Today, we're going to learn why AI is your new BFF and not your job stealer. We're going to just discover how ChatGPT can help you in all different parts of your business and workflows, not just writing copy for you. And then some tips and tricks to automate and elevate and dominate your competition.
That sounds
Okay.
amazing. Thank you. Thank you so much. And I can see, obviously these images here in the presentation are
All of the images in the presentation were made in AI by me. So anything you
so
see and you're
cool.
like, holy shit, that you can make that. Most of them are actually, well, there's a mix of Dolly and Midjourney, but this one's Dolly. Okay, so the mindset shift. AI is going to change everything, but it's going to be a partnership between humans and AI, not a competition. So this is a Mark Cuban quote, but it's very, very true, in my opinion. Obviously, people have different opinions on AI, but using AI, in AI, a human is required to be telling this thing what it needs to do, right? So this isn't meant to be like a, ooh, AI is going to take my job kind of thing. It's more of like a, hey, how can I get AI to help me be even better at my job so that other people that are learning AI don't take my job? So quickly, I know we did this like before we started, but if you guys can just drop in the chat just like a 1, 2, or 3 of kind of where you're at with using AI, just literally just the number you can pop in there so I can kind of see and vibe with where you guys are at. So 1 is like you're already going steady, you love it, you're obsessed, and you're like me and you're like, I know no other life. 2 is like you've played with it, but you're like not quite sure how it can help. And 3 is kind of like, I don't get it. All right. So you guys are all like on, second base, third base with ChatGPT, which is exciting. So I'm excited. And
Yeah.
hopefully I can
I
show
haven't
you
seen
some
a single three. There's all one, two, one, two.
there's no threes. So that's perfect. We don't like threes. We love twos and ones.
And I can see our audience
Okay.
as well. Like I can see on YouTube, people are replying. They're saying 1 and 2. So, and that's something that I encourage people. If you're watching us on social media, we want for these events to be as interactive as possible for your own benefit. So feel free to drop your answers and questions in the chat.
Okay, so let's quickly go over this myth that AI is coming for your job, because it's only coming for your job if you let it. What do you need to do then? So jobs are going to be lost to AI. That's not, we know this, right? Jobs are always going to be lost when new technology is created, right? Like, think about when the camera was invented. The people that were like sitting there painting portraits of people, like, we didn't really need them anymore. And a lot of them probably lost their jobs. But the ones that were really good at portrait painting were still sought after, and they still are sought after. People still want and have nostalgia for the things of before, right? Of before time. And so when we got digital cameras, all of the film processing plant, like everyone that was using film kind of like their jobs went away, but then how many jobs were created when Adobe was created, right? So it's like you're gonna have this cycle, and it's gonna be a lot of the production-based jobs that are gonna be lost. And if you, as a creative person, as a strategy person, can take what you know and all of your expertise and put that into using this tool that can supercharge it, it's going to make you so much better than what you were before, so much better than your competition. You will be doing so much. You'll be able to do more. You'll be able to charge more. You'll be able to have more time to get back to do the things you actually want to do. So thinking about the fact that yes, jobs will be lost, but it's more so those production jobs, right? The stuff that can be super automated. If you can automate the stuff you're doing internally for yourself, think about what that can mean, right? So think about how you can begin to implement AI in your life or workflow in a way that makes sense for you. So figure out the things that you struggle with, that are time sucks, that you hate doing. Do you hate writing site copy? Do you hate client communication? Are you not good at finding stock images? Are you not good at coming up with color palettes because you're really good at actual like wireframing and user flows? Like being a UX UI designer requires a lot of different skills that like we don't always have every single one of those skills, right? Like maybe you're really good at figuring out what the flow is, but you're not good at words. Like there are differences. Same with like me as a graphic designer. There's people that are really, really, really good at using Illustrator and creating amazing, perfectly symmetrical logos that are like the epitome of design. But they couldn't pick a color palette to save their life. So it's everyone has these different skills that they're really good at and then the things that they're not great at. And so how can we use AI to complement and assist in all of these different ways? So what this means, you have to start now. AI is moving very fast. Every day, more and more people, well, before the upgrade to ChatGPT, every day more and more people were signing up for ChatGPT. Right now, ChatGPT is on a wait list for the plus version because when they upgraded and we had this update in November 6th, so about a month ago now, they did not expect the amount of people to be using the product, and their servers couldn't handle it. And so they said, we're not taking new customers. We don't want our current customers to have a bad experience. So we'd rather provide our paying customers a good experience. And then until we can figure out how to make it work, then we'll let new people in. So there is a wait list. If you're not a plus member of ChatGPT, go get on the wait list, sign up for the wait list so that you can get access once they start letting people in. But there are other tools you can use besides ChatGPT. There's Google Bard, there is Claude, which is Anthropic's large language model. I don't think they're quite as good, but they're places to start. And I'm going to also show you some other cool tools. So, myth number 2, let me just make sure I'm okay. Myth number 2, ChatGPT can only write copy. Again, not true. It can actually do a bunch of way more impressive stuff. It's easy once you know what it's capable of and how to prompt it properly. Prompting is the most important part about ChatGPT. But let's get into some tips for using it. First, stop using the free version. So the reason for this is because there's lots of people that say, oh, I use the free version. It works fine for me. It works great for me. I promise you, if you start using the paid version, you will see how much harder it can work for you. The paid version is trained, so there's the paid version, which is GPT-4, and then the free version is GPT 3.5. So it's a previous model, it's an earlier model, and it's not trained on as much content. The GPT-4 is trained on billions of parameters, so it has so much knowledge. It also allows you to access the internet. So ChatGPT has a knowledge cutoff, and its knowledge cutoff right now for GPT-4 is April of 2023, which means the last 8 months. Yeah, I did math right. The last 8 months it doesn't have any knowledge of anything that have happened in the last 8 months. And so things change, trends change. Like you want to have recent access. And so being able to have it go out to the web and find out information that happened in the last week or whatever. Like if I asked it about what happened with Sam Altman, the CEO of OpenAI, and all of that stuff that just happened, it would not know. But if I said, go look on the internet, it would come back and give me this nice summary of all the stuff that happened. So having internet access is imperative. Plugins allow you to do different things specific to an actual task. So think of them like iPhone apps, where you can go and use the Instacart plugin to order your groceries, or you can use the Zapier plugin to connect parts of your business, all within ChatGPT. There's also voice now, so you can just talk back to it, back and forth, and it'll talk to you, so you can be hands-free and just have these full-blown conversations. It has vision. You can upload images of your wireframes and tell it to review them. You can upload images of your wireframes and tell it to write all of the copy for you. Like, it can see things and it can review them and analyze them in a very, very precise and detailed way when you ask for it. It's crazy, and I'm going to show you guys. Advanced data analysis, it can review documents. So you can upload PDFs, manuals, and be like, all right, I need you to pull all of the information out of this so I can then, and no, I shouldn't say so then I can. So then you can, ChatGPT, turn it into copy for the website. Like, it's wild what it can do, you guys. Like anything you can think where you're like, I wonder if I could do that. It can do it. It can do it. I promise. You just have to figure out the right way to prompt it. Advanced data analysis, you can also put in like CSVs and like any document, basically, you can upload it and like chat with it. Dolly will let you create images inside of ChatGPT. So most of these images you're seeing, you're able to create right inside ChatGPT. So all of those reasons are why you should be using the paid version. So get on that wait list if you're not on it. Tip number 2, it's not Google. You can keep the conversation going, which means we're conditioned as Google users for our entire life that you go to Google, you type in your request, and it gives you a bunch of responses back that usually you're like, add, this is stupid, add, like, and you're like, I didn't get what I want, and so you just like go back and change your request, your search, or you just like try a different search engine. You don't have to do that. If it gives you something that you're not looking for, just tell it. Say, hey, ChatGPT, that's not what I meant. Explain to it what you meant. You have to think about ChatGPT as an employee, as a new hire. You wouldn't just hire someone and then be like, all right, get to work. You'd be like, hi, I'm Lauren. Here's our brand guidelines. This is our company. This is what we stand for. These are the ways that we work. These are the colors that we use. These are the fonts that we use. Here's our language, right? You are going to teach ChatGPT about your business in order to be a team member for your business. So this thing is just incredible. And you have to remember to talk to it like it's a person, not like it is Google. Like, keep asking it, have it fix itself. If it tells you it can't do something, tell it to try again and it will do something. It's kind of wild, but it's how it works. Okay, so hold on, let me check my time. All right. Yes. Okay, I wanted to like buzz through that because I want to like play with you guys and like show you the stuff you can do.
I can't, I can sense your enthusiasm like through the screen. I'm loving it so much.
That's what everyone says. They're like, you need to calm down about the AI.
No,
Lauren.
please
But it's
don't.
just so
Please
cool.
don't.
Okay, so we're gonna go over a couple different ways that you guys can be using ChatGPT specifically for in your business. So wireframe text. Need lorem ipsum on steroids? ChatGPT will generate context-specific placeholder text for you, making your wireframes more realistic and less like a Latin pop quiz. Also, ChatGPT wrote that. It can do such a good job at writing stuff when you train it to do the right voice. But here are some examples of prompts that you could give it to do that. Generate engaging placeholder text for a homepage of a travel booking website, including headings, subheadings, and descriptions. Create descriptive text for product pages for an eco-friendly fashion brand's website, focusing on sustainability. It can do other copy too. It can craft witty, brand-aligned microcopy for error messages, tool tips, and more. So you could say craft navigating concise microcopy for an e-commerce checkout page, infusing humor and brand personality, ensuring clarity and call to actions. Write 5 friendly and humorous error messages for a food delivery app when something goes wrong. That's not where I wanted to go. Oh no, am I only showing my Canva? I think I'm only showing my Canva presentation. All right, we'll go through these and then we'll get out and we'll go into ChatGPT and do some of them. Okay.
Yeah, I think you have an option. You can either share just the tab or the window. So feel free.
Yeah, I think I'm just doing the window, but that's okay. We'll come back and we'll go through, once we get through them all, we'll go back and do the fun ones. Okay, they're all fun though. Okay. User flows. So you can map out user journeys and flows with ChatGPT's help. It's like having a GPS for your design process, minus the annoying recalculating voice. So outline user journey for the first time visitor for an online bookstore from landing page to checkout. You can even use custom GPTs. There's one, and I'll show you guys this, called Whimsical, and it will actually create the flows with an app called Whimsical, and it will do the entire outline for you visually. And then you can go and edit it. It's crazy. Describe a user flow for registering and setting up a profile on a social media app geared towards artists. So you can kind of start to see in these prompts that you're giving a little bit like, and these are very broad prompts. In my course Basecamp, I talk about how to prompt and everything that you should put into a prompt. And in my like framework, there's like 8 different things you could include in a prompt to really get it like the best response for yourself. But generally, you want to give it some background info. You want to make sure that it knows who its audience is. That's super important. Giving it the ICP, or the ideal customer persona, so it knows who it should be creating content for. Giving it the voice and tone you want it to have. Giving it details and specifics. So really getting more into the prompts than just like, give me a wireframe for a book, for a bookstore, whatever it is. You want to get it to give you more meatiness. So you got to juice up your prompts. Instant feedback. This one's awesome. Hook up with ChatGPT and the right prompts to get instant helpful feedback on designs and flows. It can analyze anything from layout, color harmony, overall aesthetics, and suggest improvements. So you can say, user engagement's been down on our site, analyze this web page layout, and provide suggestions for improving user engagement. Critique the color scheme and type of this mobile app, and give us scientifically informed improvements. Automated usability testing. Sorry, I was reading the chat that someone said that they were using Whimsical. It's so cool. Whimsical is so cool, you guys. We'll get into it.
Someone also said they want an AI auntie.
I'll be your auntie. Automated usability testing. Design a test, and ChatGPT can simulate user interactions, providing insights and usability hiccups. So you can say, conduct a detailed user interaction simulation for a travel booking process, like identify friction points, suggest intuitive designs, perform an evaluation of search functionality. So you can really have it do any of these things. And then the other big tip for prompts, and they're not really, I don't have them in here, but having it act as a specific role. So saying, act as a seasoned UX designer with a master's degree in user flow, and like basically you pump up its resume and tell it to be like the greatest of all, but then you also tell it to act like a user behavior psychologist and like whoever your target market is, and tell it to be that and review your copy for you as if it was your client, right? Or as if it was that ideal customer, so that you're getting it from their perspective. So this will create user generated or user personas, which are super cool. And then you can basically like use that user persona throughout your user testing. So if you like act as this, you can, you create 3 different ICPs and then you name them, and then you can come back and be like, what does Julie think of this? And Julie will give you her perspective from as if she was this person, and Marcus is going to give you his perspective as if he's this person. You can also ask it to act like actual people. So you could say like, give me the perspective from Kim Kardashian and give me the perspective from Elon Musk. And they're going to give it to you from those people's perspectives as if they are those people. It's crazy, you guys. It's crazy. Trend forecaster, so you can have it go and do research for you because it can access the internet. So you can say, like, go and find emerging trends post 2020, like focusing on pandemic influenced user behavior. Like, how have we changed, right? Like, there's so much that you guys can understand. An ICP, sorry, I just saw someone said, what's an ICP? An ICP is an ideal client persona. So it's like, who is that person that you are creating this for, that ideal person, right? And so being able to say, like, create it for this very specific target. It's a little bit more zoned in on like than just target audience, but more it's like, this is the person we want to go after with demographics, psychographics. So putting all of that in there is super helpful for it. Okay, so then this is an example, just really quickly, of an image that I created in Dolly. That I was just like, okay, let me see like some home pages for this skincare brand that I created. And it literally like creates this. And obviously this is just like a single JPEG. There's no layers here. But the fact that you can look at this and be like, oh my God, this is sick. We could create something like this. If I found an artist that could do this for us, you go and present this to your clients instead of just a wireframe. Do you know how their eyes will pop out of their heads? And like this takes 20 minutes. And then you can bring this thing so you can look at it and you can see that there's like shit text on here, right? Like it's not real. But you can bring this into Canva. And Canva now has this new AI tool called Text Grab. It will pull all of the text off of the image and turn it into like actual live type. So then you could just all of those shitty little header names, you can put in the right words for it that ChatGPT just wrote for you and then present it to them. It's what, you guys? Okay, I know I've said that like a million times, but I truly
That is
always
so cool. You know, the amount of times that I look at our own websites and I'm like, oh, what do you think about this? What would you do different? How would you improve it? I'm not quite there yet, but it's so mind blowing to see. And I didn't know about the Canva tip, so that's new.
Yeah, the Canva stuff is new. It's pretty wild too. Like you can even there's like it'll grab like objects and subjects from it. So you could like select like the bottles and it'll like pull them off and build like whatever should have been behind it and then you can move it around and scale it. It's crazy. Okay, but we have 30 minutes, so I'm going to be able to show you guys some fun things. Okay. What other AI tools should you guys be trying? Adobe and Canva. So we just talked about those. They're super helpful in editing images that you maybe are creating. So you guys would be creating images, maybe like gradient backgrounds to put in your sites, and then you can edit them in either of these. They both have a lot of AI baked in. Adobe has Adobe Firefly, which has rolled out in this past couple months. They have Adobe, what is it called? There's a new one coming, Stardust, Adobe Stardust, I think. And it's going to be similar to Canva, where you can just like click on an object, it'll like move it with the shadows and everything. It'll like create the entire background. Like it's going to be wild. Reloom, you guys. Okay, hold on. I have to figure out how to get off of my Canva now because this is the end of this slide. There's like one more slide, but I want to go and show you guys now. So let me share my
I wonder
whole
if that's the
screen.
real Loom that we know, but I'm not sure. We use a
Probably.
library. We use a library.
No, it's
Yeah.
different.
I was like, yeah.
Hold on.
Penny.
Chromium
Volume AI.
Reload. Okay, let's see if I can. There we go. Guys are gonna, your minds are gonna be blown, and I don't want this to scare you. I want
Oh, it
this for
is
you guys to be
Relium.
like,
Yeah, it is.
okay, but
These are like our friends.
have you used their site builder yet?
I haven't.
Oh my god, get
Yeah.
ready for your minds to be
Some
blown.
Yes,
people
it's
some people
amazing.
have used it. Yeah, Penny, Irina. Awesome.
Okay. So you just need to like get started, right? You're like, all right, I just need to like get something down for a place to start. It's my limit. Can I
Oh
delete
no.
one? That's all right. We'll go and look at another one that no, maybe I can delete it and I can show you because it goes so fast. Let's see, delete.
We were literally talking about Brillium this morning in our chat, in our Discord, but not the AI. Hi, Adam. I messaged you on LinkedIn and Twitter.
Okay, now it's going to let us. All right, describe the company in a sentence or two. That's literally all it says. Let's put in, what should we call it? Let's call it, I had a name for one that I made up with planters that had music in them. We'll just say that. Planters.
You can make a Floxies one, but I don't know if it recognizes the word Floxies. Probably not.
Company this. Well, but we could give it that. Floxies.
It's community, international community for women in UX UI design and Webflow. I don't know if that's
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so then you can choose how many pages you want. So let's just say like 1 to 5 for this.
yeah.
And it's going to literally create the entire sitemap right in front of us with all of the copy.
This is sick.
Yeah, I know. And I imagine it's even sicker for you guys because, like, this is what you guys do to be able to just like have this built in like a second, then you can go in and like edit it in the way that you actually want it to be. But do you know how much time I imagine you guys know how much time this like cut out of your work if you can get it started like this?
Loads. Yep.
But wait, there's more, Claudia. Is it done yet?
Almost.
Is it still generating? I can't tell. Generating 5 pages. It still seems like it's generating.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's
it is.
the last three things.
Because I want to go to the next step.
I think it's done now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Close. Now I'll say generate. No, new page. Hold on. How do I do it? Where is it? It's supposed to like make my whole, oh, here we go. Wireframe. It wireframes the whole page for you. The whole site. With copy written. Then you can just import it into Webflow, you guys.
Is there a plugin for that already? Like Relume to Webflow? Does anyone
Yeah, you just go here to export and say export to Webflow
copy paste?
or Figma.
Oh my god. This is crazy,
But you guys, look at this.
This is crazy.
And so, yes, like obviously there are going to be companies that are going to find this and go and do it. But imagine you using it for the people that are like, I need a website. I'm going to go and hire someone to do it.
Yeah.
You can, how much time would this normally have taken you guys?
This is fantastic.
And the copy's here. And then you can literally click into it and say like, rewrite this copy, generate new copy. And you can use AI to generate all the new copy.
Interesting comment.
Make it longer, make it shorter. Felt like, you guys, it's crazy town.
So people are like blown away. A couple questions that I can see in the chat. Is it free? Number one.
No.
Of course.
No, I think I think you can generate a few for free. But there's definitely like a cost to it. I don't know. We can look and see what it is.
$30 a month, says Carmia.
But
you can have one project for free, apparently. So
let's go back into this presentation real quick, and I'm gonna bring ChatGPT over here. By the way, I'm using Arc. That's the browser that I'm in. If you guys are curious about like why my browser doesn't look like Chrome, it's because it's not. It's Arc, and it's amazing, and I love it. Okay, look here. I ran the 5 friendly and humorous error messages for a food delivery app when something goes wrong. And immediately it said, "Hi, Floxies." I told it we were presenting and that he was going to be on stage with you guys. So let's cook up some spicy error messages for a food delivery app while the users that make users chuckle instead of grumble when things go a bit haywire. So you got a 404 message. Oops, seems like our digital chefs got a bit too saucy and misplaced your order. server spilled, order overcooked, delivery drone detour, payment pizza problem. Like, and then you can just, if you don't like any of those, you can just regenerate and it'll write 5 more for you. Because what ChatGPT is doing is it's basically just one giant autocomplete, and it's just kind of guessing what the next word should be that it should be presenting you. And so each time you ask it something, regardless of if you ask it the same thing, you're going to get different outputs. So the reason mine sounds so like funny, and obviously we asked it to be friendly and humorous, but I have custom instructions turned on, which is why it was that's why it said like, hey Floxies. So we can even say like, hey, what can you tell me about the Floxies community? And let's see what it knows.
If you
And
can
this isn't
hold
even
your
going to the
question
internet.
for the Q&A, if that's okay.
What's that?
Oh, just like one of our girls had a question, but we can wait for the Q&A. So I'd rather, yeah.
Like, look at what it's saying about you guys. You're the coolest digital design club you can imagine. Where everyone's constantly pushing the envelope and brainstorming the next big thing in user experience and interface design.
It probably says the same about everyone else. To be
No
fair.
way. No way. But look, it's saying in this digital age where UX, UI design is king, you guys could be seen as the knights of the round table. What a weird metaphor to use. But
Exactly. You could have said something like, in this digital age where UX UI design is king, we are the queens.
let's send it again and see. But that's the thing, is you could literally be like, can you come up with something different for that? And it will. And you can stop it. Like if it's not giving you what you want, you can always just like say stop, I don't want this. But like here it's turning it into something about like binge watching Friends. It loves to use Swiss Army knife, so if you use that, get rid of Swiss Army knife, people will know that you're using ChatGPT. Not that it's a bad thing, but let's do one. Okay, here's a fun one. Let's get a, you guys have like a website?
Yeah,
Okay, here we go.
that's the one.
Okay, so I'm going to copy this and I'm going to, I use an extension called Magical that lets me just like pull up prompts that I've already written.
Oh, cool. I
Since
use, is it
this
similar
one,
to kind of like text blaze, like you have some shortcuts on your keyboards? Yeah.
yeah, it's just basically keyboard shortcuts. But I have this in here, so I basically tell it to analyze the following aspects. So this is a voice and tone analysis. So it's going to tell us the voice, the tone, the audience engagement, the brand consistency, and it's going to go through that whole website
We're gonna get
and
roasted
tell us.
live.
No, it's going to be great. Friendly and supportive with a dash of professional flair. It's not overly formal, yet maintains a level of professionalism fitting for a community focused on UI design. Voice aligns well with the brand identity, which seems to be centered on fostering supportive, collaborative, and educational environment for women in tech. They pull out phrases, so it's clearly like actually reading the copy. Overall tone, optimistic and empowering. There's a sense of community spirit. Claudia, your copy is on point.
There you go. I do have.
Engagement. But like, do you see how you can use this to be able to help you understand like your clients and like why their website is crappy now, right? It's like, okay, well, let's have it review. Let's understand like, is your brand consistent? Like, are there ways that we can fix this? And obviously you guys are
I like the
UI, so you
areas of
would maybe say,
improvement. That's what I'm interested in. More
can you
testimonials and
please?
success stories. 100%. I agree.
And a lot of the
ChatGPT.
time, because I didn't really give it I did. I said I want you to act as a award-winning seasoned copywriter, a brand storyteller, language and psychology expert, right? So I'm giving it these people to act as that are going to have knowledge around these things in this space. Let's see what else we have. Let's do, we could do
Lauren says, don't forget to say thank you. Thank you, GPT, just in case.
I know. Let's
And
try this one.
yeah.
Okay, so it's going to conduct a detailed user interaction simulation for travel booking process, identifying friction points and suggesting intuitive design improvements. So, okay, the friction point is difficulty in finding the search bar or unclear input fields. Here's the improvement. Here's a friction point. Here's an improvement. And you can ask for it in any way you want. Like, I didn't give it any detail in terms of the type of content I wanted back or like how I wanted it, the actual like setup of it. But I could say, put it in a table for me. Or in each column, I want this. So in a column 1, I want you to put this. In column 2, I want you to put this. In column 3. So as long as you tell it, like, remember, talk to it like it's an employee. You would tell your employee how you wanted something given to you. Tell this thing and it will do it. I want to show you guys Whimsical because Whimsical used to be a plugin and now it is a custom GPT. So custom GPTs are basically trained on specific data to do specific things. So if you come into the GPT store, you'll see that these are all made by the North Pole. Santa has one. But you can come in here and there's a negotiator one. It'll help you advocate for yourself for better outcomes, a creative writing coach. And so they've created these to be specific, like a laundry buddy. And so it'll know all the things about that specific topic. And they can do specific things. So there's one called like Sticker Buddy, and it'll actually like create your image for you and then send it to Sticker Mule to actually for you to order it and like have them shipped to you. But the Whimsical diagram will actually create mind maps and flow charts and diagrams. So I can say like, create a user flow for a food truck delivery app. I don't know what that is, but you'll see, and you would obviously give it more to go off of, but it's going to then go and start working on what it thinks it's supposed to work on, and then you'll approve it. It'll say, oh, I got to send some of this information to Whimsical. And you'll say, yeah, sure, go ahead. And then it's going to spit back out a user flow for us that we can then go and actually like edit. So this is like a, wow, all right, this one's interesting. So they open the app, they select a food category, they search for a specific food truck, view food trucks, choose a food truck. Okay. And so then you could like fix it. You could say, no, like it's actually, there's XYZ and this is what needs to change. Or you can click in and actually like edit to your heart's content in their like flow builder. Again, this you'll need to have like a separate account for Whimsical to be able to like create in here, but there's so many different, you can have it create mind maps for you. You can have it create all sorts of different types of flows. Okay, we have 15 minutes. Do we want to do questions?
Sure. I mean, if you're happy and satisfied with everything that, or if
Let
you
me
had any
just go
more
for my,
things to cover, I
let me
mean, we
do my,
can.
I've got two more. I've got two more things on
Yeah,
tools you guys should be
that's
using.
fine. And I'm sure,
Last
we
one.
can have an extra 5 minutes if that's
Okay.
okay with everyone. It's not gonna be an
Perplexity.
extra. It's not gonna be an extra 4 hours like you did yesterday. Don't worry.
No. Perplexity is what I use as like my new Google now. So Google has AI search in it if you're not on a Google workspace. If you have like a Google workspace, I don't think you have access to it yet, but Perplexity is basically like a search engine like on steroids. So I could say, like, I don't know, I'm going to just use one of these things. Like, what is golden rice? And so immediately it just shows you where it found sources and then it summarizes like whatever your answer is right here. And it'll show you where it found each of these parts. So like parts of this description. So then you can click in and say like, okay, let me go and like read where this came from. So you can basically check your sources and make sure that like any information is coming from the right place. But you can also like continue with like other questions. So like, how is golden rice different from regular rice? And it'll just kind of like lead you down a path. And then you can also like search within videos. And then apparently this is new. I've never seen this generate images.
And so
I
this
wonder if
one
it's using
here is
Dolly
within Google or
3. This is Perplexity. So this is
Perplexity.
perplexity.com. You can use it similar to ChatGPT. So if you get a pro account, it'll run GPT-4 in it. You can upload files to it, but I just really love it for just instead of Google, I'll just come here and ask questions to it, like what's playing in theaters near me. I don't know where I am. Victorville. That's not where I am. I don't think I have it set up to have anything in here, but you should put in information about yourself in here. I just don't use it like that. I use ChatGPT mostly for like more back and forth kind of stuff. But you can put in here like, hey, I live in this area and like I'm interested in this sort of stuff, and it'll customize and tailor your responses to whatever you put in there. And then, and that's free. There is a paid version. And there's this other thing called Copilot. You get 5 a day or 5 per every 4 hours for free. And it's kind of like ChatGPT where you can say like, help me create a user flow. And then it's going to ask you questions. So it'll be like, okay, I want to do a mobile app. And what's the purpose? Okay, send. And so then it's going to say, what's the main goal of the user flow? User onboarding. So basically, you're like teaching it about what you're kind of like looking to learn. And then it's going to go and tell you like, oh, here, like we found all these best practices and like, here's all these things. Like we got stuff from 20 different sites. And now we're like aggregating it kind of here for you in terms of like, here's the steps to do this. So it's kind of cool. It's just more of like a back and forth chat to make sure it can understand like what you're actually trying to solve for. And then the last one I have on here is Midjourney, which is just where you create images in out of text because it's just so cool. So like these are some types of images you can create. I mean, you can truly create anything in Midjourney.
And it's not free anymore, is it? Because I remember I started using it and then I couldn't for some reason.
Yeah, no, it's not free anymore. I would suggest the standard plan, not the basic, if you want to get into it. The basic really doesn't give you it's like about 200 generations a month, and I could create 200 generations in an hour. So it just like, I don't think it's worth it. I would pay the $30 for the like main standard plan and play around with it if you're interested in like the images you can create for your sites is just like incredible. But you can do that in Dolly too. So, but this is just it's just different. It can do different types of things.
Yeah. I use one called Leonardo.ai.
Leonardo is a good one. There's so many now. There's one called Latte. I wonder if the one that I made saved.
Oh, video. That's interesting.
Oh my God. It's like the best video that I've seen. If I'm being honest with you, I know there's a lot of people that are like, Taika or Pika is the new one that people like, and Runway. I already have one. Let's see.
Do you have a recommendation for, I guess, as me being selfish and starting my own Q&A, but for transforming like webinars, like videos, like this long into like shorts, because that's what every content creator is kind of looking for these days.
So I'm not going to show you guys this one because I don't think my project is saved. Oh, it is. Hold on. Okay. We're going to come back to that, Claudia. All I put in here was like, the prompt was like a girl turns into a robot after drinking a coffee or something. And it made this video in literally like 6 minutes. like it wrote all of this copy, it made the background music, it made the video.
It's like it's so cool. It's equally so very cool and so very freaky as well.
Right? It's crazy, but I'm just like, oh my God, how is it even possible? How is that even
Yeah, and I've
possible?
seen
Um,
advertising and things. Yeah, we couldn't hear the music. I don't know if there was music in the
oh
background, but
no. There
yeah.
was music and like a whole voiceover.
Oh yeah, no, we couldn't hear
It
it.
was I'll send you guys the link if I can find
Mm-hmm.
it. Um, but Cast Magic is really, really cool. So Cast Magic basically, it doesn't necessarily turn it into short video content. I don't have the best option for you for that yet. But what this will do is it will take any video or audio content. So you can upload reels, you can upload YouTubes, you could put RSS feeds or any audio that you've been on, podcasts, things like that. So I've got like some podcasts in here that I've been on, but basically what I'm using it for is when I record all of my courses, I'm putting the copy or the videos into here and it spits out all of this content for me based on my videos. So now I
Mm,
can go in and I can say, all right, here were the key topics and bullets that we talked about, right? And I can like be able to take everything that I said in that like 40-minute lesson and it like creates a session worksheet for me. It creates a quiz. It creates a social post, a
that's
lesson
really cool.
memo, lead magnet, and then you can go and like chat with it. So you can like have conversations with it and ask it questions. So like there's
Hmm.
even an iPhone app, so you can just talk to it, say all your thoughts to it, and then come back and have all of your thoughts like organized for you.
That's really
Also
cool.
not free. So not free. AI is going to bankrupt me, but they're all just so all the tools are just so cool. So okay, let me get to the very last slide so that we can get to questions.
We can
The
open the
very last
floor.
is just where you guys can learn a little bit more. So Basecamp is my course. It's launching next week. It was supposed to launch earlier in November, but because of the update, I've gone in and changed everything because it changed a lot of how we use ChatGPT. Um, so that is launching, but join Basecamp. You guys can purchase right now, and then as soon as it drops, you guys will have access. The launch pad happens at school.com/slash the Basecamp, and I'll drop all of these. Actually, I'm gonna just put these in here for you guys in the chat.
Yeah,
Um,
that'd be great. Thank you.
but school.com/basecamp is where we have the launch pad, which is like a free community that I've got for people to it's not showing. Is this showing? Can you guys see this now?
Nope.
Or no? Just see the Canva still. All
Hmm.
right. Well, that's okay. You guys can click into it. And it's basically kind of like a Facebook group, but also it's like gamified. So if you are interacting and sharing content, you will be able to like unlock like prompts and just like other cool videos that I've created. I like can't find, hold on, I can't find you guys. Where am
How many
I?
tabs do
Okay.
you have open?
Yeah, I was like, I don't even know what I'm showing them. Okay, where is
We're
that
just
screen?
we're looking at join Basecamp and
No, I see it. I just
school.com.
love
Yeah, I
it.
can
Okay,
see
okay,
you.
okay.
Yeah.
I'm on it. I'm on it. Okay. Um, so the launch pad is where you can go, free stuff, and then Cosmo Club is coming in January, and that's going to be a paid monthly membership where you guys will be able to come in, and I'm gonna have bi-weekly office hours so that AI is moving so fast, you guys. There's new tools like every day, and it's like I'm going to be talking about here's the new stuff that I found, here's the news that's happened in the last 2 weeks, here's what you should know about. I'm going to have monthly master classes. So people are going to come in. I'm going to have founders come in and talk about tools and how you can be using it and other creatives in the industry and how they're using AI. And then also like just like constant updates. Like if there's updates to ChatGPT, you guys will know about them immediately. So that is coming. And then chatbots and chill sessions are just like one-on-ones with me. If you're like, hey, Lauren, I just want to sit down and want you to tell me like how I can be using AI in my business. Like what are all the ways, what are the tools I should be using? Here's what I do. Those are one-on-one sessions that you can book with me. And then the easiest is just follow me on Instagram. I try and share as much free content on there as I can. So if you are like, I need more AI, just go there and you'll get more AI in your face for sure.
Awesome. Fantastic. Is that the last one?
That's the last one. Oh, that isn't the last one. I'm lying to you guys.
I can see one more thing.
At 20% off for you guys. So if you guys do want to join Basecamp, you can use Kiss My AI and you'll get 20% off. But I think right now it's set at 11%. So let me fix it right after this. But 20% off for the course if you guys want to join.
Amazing,
That's it.
amazing,
Now I'm done.
amazing. Thank you so much, Lauren. That's great. Let me just throw some confetti at you. I could see, all the comments in the chat. People were so blown away by your presentation, and you didn't disappoint. Oh, we have a round of applause. That's the first time I hear that.
Yay!
Amazing. All right, let's open up the floor to our Q&A with our Floxies, and I can see there's more people in the room. So as per usual, you can see all the emojis at the bottom of your screen in Gather. Use the white hand next to the 100 to raise your hand if you have a question, and I'll call out your name. I think WM had a question earlier on. WM, are you still here? And do you still have that question?
Yeah, but like no, it was just a follow-up for the context of ChatGPT. So thank
Was
you.
it about the GPT builder?
Yeah, like because it's highly customizable, so somehow you are able to create your own AI tool within ChatGPT, not for free, but
Yeah.
like within the premium version.
So the custom GPTs are basically you have the option in regular ChatGPT to have custom instructions and to tell ChatGPT about yourself and to tell it how to respond to you, but you only have one set of those, and you can change them as often as you want, but whatever's in there whenever you start a chat is what it's going to reference. Whereas with these custom GPTs, you go to that GPT to use it and it's trained, and you can upload files and you can tell it like access all of this content from this PDF document, and it will use that as its brain. So every time you go back to that specific custom GPT, it's going to know that content. So I'm building a couple of them. One is called Bot Mused, and it helps people like build their brands. So you can ask it questions about can you help me create this brand? It'll come up with ideas for you. I'm building one to help with Midjourney prompts. I have another one for prompts in Dolly. So you can train them and then share them with people, which is super cool. And the GPT store is going to launch next year. It was supposed to launch this year, but because of all the OpenAI stuff, they pushed it back. But basically, you can create these custom GPTs and then put them on the GPT store for people to basically buy as if it's an app and access. And then the ones that do well, ChatGPT said they're going to give like some equity to. So it'll be
Ooh,
interesting to see
that's interesting.
how it all plays out. But I'm excited about that.
That's very interesting. I did create two of them. One of them is a marketing assistant to help me, because I write the newsletter for my full-time job. And obviously, I try and market the events that we have here every week. So I need a little bit of help. So I have my marketing bot, and then a public speaker advisor, because I do have a lot of talking engagements as well. So, that helps me out. But basically, you can just go in and create your own co-worker, which is super cool.
Yeah. And you can use it in totally different ways. So my boyfriend's parents just took a trip to Norway and Finland, and their travel agent gave them like a 70-page like PDF. Like every page was like something different on each page. And I was like, you're gonna have to like carry that. Like, no. I was like, give me the PDF. I put it into a bot and told it like, you are the like assistant to this trip, and you should suggest things and you should always access this. And so all they had to do was say like, what are we doing today? And it would say, okay, like you'll wake up, the bus is going to pick you up at this time, it's going to take you here, you should dress for this weather. And it like was basically just like a little travel concierge, and it knows everything they had to do.
Yeah, that's really
So the
cool.
opportunities for using AI and ChatGPT outside of business too are just like insane.
Ashley, I can see your hands up.
Hey, Lauren.
Hi.
Okay, so this is sort of like a two-part question, really. It's a bit more of a fun one, I'd say. So if you remember the film Her
Yes.
with the voice AI, I was wondering if you could personalize that piece of AI, whose voice would you have?
Nice question.
That's not a good question because I don't have an answer for it. I don't know. Probably like, well, I don't know. I'm gonna have to think about it because there's on ChatGPT, there's 6 different voices that you can choose from. And I don't love any of them. I'm like, this isn't the right, like, this isn't the right voice. And so I think I need to think about, that's a good question that I'm gonna think about.
I would have Jennifer Lawrence because I love her voice so much.
I like Miley. I like Miley's raspy voice. It's kind of like mine.
I'd pick Jeff Goldblum for me. I love his voice. I needed to narrate my life.
Or David Attenborough.
Yes, definitely.
I'm now trying to like picture what David Attenborough would say about us and our community. Oh my god. Yeah. If anyone can make that with AI, please send it to me as a Christmas present.
You can. You definitely can do it. There are people that are hacking, like you can go and like do voice cloning and like you can have anyone's voice like narrate stuff now. So it's definitely possible. Oh my gosh, yes, Matthew McConaughey. All right. I mean, I already tell my ChatGPT to talk like me. So like in my custom instructions, I tell it to say dope and sick and like words that I use so that when it talks to me, I'm like, yeah, this is my friend.
And speaking of voice, we do have a question here from the forum from Emma, who I believe is also here. Yes, Emma, hi. So your question in the forum was, Lauren, how do you feel about ChatGPT's new voice activation feature?
I honestly, so I have been using, before we got voice on ChatGPT, I have been using another AI called Pi.ai. And I was using that all the time. I loved it, but it didn't have like internet access. And so now it has internet access. So like I generally, when I do my like chatting, I chat with Pi over ChatGPT. I feel like I have not been using the voice feature in ChatGPT as much. I definitely have never used the voice feature on desktop. On mobile, I feel like what I don't like about it, I think, is that when you're talking to it and you're like, and it's talking back to you, it's only showing you like the bubble on the phone and you can't actually see the text at the same time. And that bugs me. Like, I want to be able to read it and hear it, and it doesn't allow you to do that. And so that would be my qualm with it. Because I want to be able to also see, and you can, once you click out of the bubble, you are able to like read the text, but like I want it to like say it and spell it out at the same time. That's my
I found that
thoughts on
I used it this afternoon, and I live with a person whose native language isn't English, although he's fluent in it, and it couldn't understand what he was asking. I was asking something
Oh.
really simple, yeah, like where's the nearest, bakery or something, and it was like, what?
Did he ask
couldn't grab it.
Did he ask it in English with his accent?
In correct English, yes, but he has an accent naturally. So unless, I don't know, I feel like they're early stages yet, but it probably
Did
isn't
he try
very good.
and ask it in his language, in his actual
No,
language that he speaks? It'll speak any language.
Does it now already
Yeah.
speak every language? No. Yes, we'll have to try that then.
Well,
Probably
it
in
should.
his
I mean,
native
I shouldn't
language.
promise that it like 100% is going to be great at it, but for the most
No, but I
part,
just
it's
felt
supposed to
like,
be
early
fluid.
stages, there's going to be some problems with it. It's not going to be perfect technology right out of the gate. No.
Well, that is also what I try and remind people in terms of like the entire thing, not just the voice, like all of it. You're going to encounter hiccups, and these things will hallucinate. They will make things up. So I want to make sure you guys are aware of the fact that like it is very much on you as the end user and the actual human being controlling this thing to confirm that what you are using and what you're putting out there from it is accurate and not going to perpetuate any stereotypes and is not going to be offensive or whatever it is, but it's on you as the human to make that final decision. Like, you guys are basically like the creative director, right? You have them do the work and then you review it and tell them like, here's what you need to change. But like you got to make sure that whatever goes out is kosher.
100%. Fun fact, my ChatGPT called itself Athena because I asked it, I was like, hey, I don't quite, ChatGPT is a bit of a boring name. If you had a choice, what would you call yourself? And so it said Athena, like the Greek goddess of wisdom and knowledge. I was like, I like that.
I think I need to ask my ChatGPT to name itself.
That was
I
kind of
haven't done
cool. But yeah, I would love to hear, Emma, if that works, if you're gonna give it a try. I have some existential crisis that sometimes I try to talk to my Google and they can't understand. They're like, oh, sorry, I didn't catch that. And then my Siri replies like, I was like, oh my god. Just like where are the
Too many
people?
bots in the kitchen.
It's chaos. All right, speaking of training, another question, and then girls, this is like our last couple of minutes. If you do have a question, put your hand up so that I can see it, put it in the chat. Otherwise, this is going to be our last question from Maddie. She says, what's the best way to train your GPT to really write and speak like you?
So the best way that I would suggest doing this is going and finding examples of your own copy that you've already written. So whether it's blog posts, whether it's Instagram captions, whether you've been on podcasts or you've done courses, and you could use Cast Magic even to do this. But basically, find that content and then feed it to ChatGPT and say, hey, I'm gonna give you a bunch of examples of my writing style. And the reason that I say don't just take captions and copy that you've written, but also take actual like transcripts of you speaking, because you speaking actually like with your mouth is more of how you talk than writing, because a lot of the time when you're writing you're making more decisions, and so that will really be able to get it to understand like, ooh, the way that you pause and the way that you use likes, like I use like way too much and I know that, and it would probably pick up on that and probably put it into some of my captions, which will make it seem more like me, right? So basically take all of the content you've already written and then feed it to ChatGPT and tell it act as a seasoned copywriter that writes brand guidelines for voice and tone, and tell me a summarization of my voice and tone and writing style. And then you save that and feed it to ChatGPT, put it into your custom instructions and say, write like this. And it will write like that. But you got to train it. You got to find those examples, right? Because some people know how they sound. They know their voice and tone, and they can just summarize it for it very nicely. But a lot of people, it's hard for them to come up with like the right words to explain how they write and the way that they sound. So having ChatGPT do the work for you to be able to tell you how you sound is super helpful.
Yeah, and sometimes if you can't quite put it into words like what you think you sound like, you just like, I copy paste something from my old posts that I've done on LinkedIn, or anything big or long that you've written, just copy paste and just say to the bot, just like, this is how I think, this is a piece that I wrote, and whatever they can take from that will be useful.
Yep.
Amazing. So that was our last question, and I'm quite sad because I think this is our last Wonder Wednesday of the year, but fear not, because next Wednesday, Floxies community and Knockout North community are planning a beautiful Christmas party for the communities. Penny, would you like to say a few words? And Penny is from the Knockout North community. So
Right. So yeah, we're basically planning a gathering around the tree, the holiday tree. There's going to be a little scavenger hunt where you go and find things that you can put on the tree, and lots of opportunities to just chat, connect with folks, and it's open to as many people as we can stuff into our gather. So hopefully folks can come and join us.
absolutely. So Lauren, you're invited. You can bring your friends, come and party with us, and we're gonna have some awesome prizes as well offered by Edgar Allen and Keith Armstrong from Remote. So we have swag, we have fun, and if you've come if you came last year to the party, it's just a good opportunity for us to be all together in a space, and so it's gonna be it's gonna be great, and I'm looking forward to it. So it's not the last time I'm gonna see your pretty faces. I'll see you next week, next Wednesday, same time, but we will be meeting in the Norcote North Lodge next door, our neighbors.
And I just popped the invitation into
In
the
chat.
chat
Oh,
as
fantastic.
well.
Yeah, and I
The
shared
Lumen.
the website as well.
Great.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, everyone. Thank you, Lauren. You've been fantastic. And I've shared your Instagram for people who would like to follow you and all the info. Again, we would love to have you here again. So now that you've seen the space, and if you've liked the space, feel free to come and say hi whenever you like, and come to our party next week. It's going to be fun.
Yeah. I will. You guys, I was telling Claudia that I was like so impressed with the fact, like with this whole gather. I came in and I was like, I feel like I'm in The Sims, and I loved The Sims when I was a kid, and I just think it's so fun. So the fact that you guys are in here, I'm excited to come join you guys.
Wait until you see the Norcote North Lodge. That's gonna be like being into Santa Claus kind of like land. It's beautiful.
Oh my God, I'm excited. Well, thank you guys for having me. I definitely would love to come back, and there's obviously going to be newness happening every month. So whenever you guys want me to come back, I'm happy to come in and share the AI news.
Fantastic. Well, amazing. So take care, everyone. Have a fantastic evening, day, depending wherever you are in the world. So take care, and I'll see you in our Discord. And thank you so much again, Lauren. I will see you on Instagram.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, guys.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Take care. See you next week.